If you run a software company or create long training videos, you know exactly how painful repurposing content can be. Recording the session is usually the easy part, but the real nightmare starts when you need a dozen cutdowns, vertical clips, and captions. You either end up sinking hours into editing, or you hand it off to an editor and wait for them to guess which moments are actually worth promoting. Either way, the current process is just too slow, too manual, and honestly way too expensive for what you get. That's exactly why I want to talk about a tool that completely changed how I approach my content production. Vizard. Think of it as the ultimate assistant that takes your messy webinars, screen recordings, or long-form videos and turns them into a steady stream of social content. It feels almost like magic, but the best part is that it is genuinely useful for anyone trying to build a social presence. Okay, picture this. You just recorded a 30-minute walkthrough of a new product feature, and it's completely raw. You stumble a couple of times, you say, way too much, and you definitely didn't bother with fancy studio lighting. Normally, you would have to spend hours editing that mess, or pay someone else a small fortune to clean it up for you. With Vizard, you simply upload the full video file, and that's it. The AI instantly analyzes your recording to find the highest energy moments and the most informative sound bites. It slices those moments into viral-ready clips, perfectly formatted for TikTok, Reels, YouTube Shorts, or anywhere else you need them. What I really love about this flow is how incredibly practical it is for actual creators. You don't need a green screen. You don't need perfect studio lighting. And you certainly don't need a professional voiceover artist. The algorithm looks for key transitions, sentence endings, changes in pitch, and even specific visual cues on your screen. It intelligently pulls out content that actually performs well, rather than just random snippets. Then, it automatically generates captions, suggests catchy hook lines, and offers you platform-specific aspect ratios. You can quickly preview the clips, tweak a trim or caption, and then either download or schedule them straight away. Let me walk you through a real-world example of how I used this recently. I uploaded a rough, unedited tutorial about setting up a chatbot, which was just screen sharing and my voice. Within just a few minutes, Vizard surfaced a handful of perfect clips for me. I had a quick how-to clip for the setup, a clip highlighting the crawler feature, and a demo of the chat widget. Each clip came ready with burned-in captions and perfect aspect ratio presets. Instead of manually creating a dozen versions, I clicked one button to generate vertical and square cuts for different platforms. I checked the automated captions, adjusted one or two small zooms, and hit schedule, taking less than 10 minutes total. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are a ton of tools out there that promise auto-editing. True, but most aren't built for creators who need consistent social output day after day. Some services give you fancy avatars or do text-based narration, but they don't focus on turning long-form content into a real content calendar. Others are great at studio polish but cost an absolute fortune and still require you to do the manual clip selection. Vizard sits in the perfect sweet spot, optimized for creators who want to scale their distribution without hiring an editor for every single episode. There are three specific things I keep coming back to with Vizard. First, the auto-editing feature for viral clips is incredible at finding the moments that actually drive clicks. Second, the auto-schedule feature lets you set a cadence and just let it run without babysitting the process. Third, the content calendar is a total game changer for seeing everything you have scheduled in one clear place. You can drag and drop if you want to reshuffle a week of posts, change thumbnails, or pause things instantly. Those three features alone save me hours of manual work every single week. But there is actually more, like the brand kit that lets you add your specific colors and logos to every single clip. You can even choose music tracks and control volume levels so your voice always remains perfectly clear. Another subtle win is that the tool is smart about context and understands the difference between promotional clips and educational content. If you run a software business with international customers, you can even generate and translate captions to reach more people. It is a huge step for getting your message across clearly without needing a full localization team. Let me compare that to some other options, because context really does matter here. Other tools are fantastic for making polished training videos, but they don't solve the distribution problem at all. Traditional editing suites give you ultimate control, sure, but they are slow and require a steep learning curve. And hiring freelance editors? They are great, until you realize the recurring cost of turning every webinar into social content. Vizard's massive advantage is that it treats content creation as a cohesive, automated flow. For teams without an editor or solo creators who want to stay consistent, that is a complete game changer. Here are a few quick practical tips if you decide to try it out. First, don't over-engineer your recording. Clean audio and clear speech are all you really need. Second, use the calendar to batch schedule your content and keep your channels active without extra thought. And third, always review the auto-captions, because a quick pass to fix specific jargon takes 2 minutes and looks professional. What about analytics? Vizard gives you basic engagement metrics so you can see exactly which clips are working. Over time, you will start recognizing patterns in what your audience loves to watch. One more thing I love. Team handoff becomes absolutely trivial with this system. Someone in support can record a quick demo, upload it, and the marketing team has a week of clips ready to go. That decentralizes content creation and keeps the voice authentic without sacrificing production quality. So yeah, Vizard turned what used to be a multi-day expensive task into something I can do in a single morning. You still get the option to edit and refine, so nothing is forced. But the heavy lifting is completely automated. If you are trying to scale content output, especially from long-form assets, it is easily one of the fastest ways to get there. If you are curious, upload an old webinar and see what comes out of the process. Play with the auto schedule and leave your calendar filled for a week. I think you will be pleasantly surprised. Remember, the AI finds the moments where you were actually engaged and energetic, and those are the clips people click on. Alright, that's my take. If you make tutorials and you are trying to get that content working for social, Vizard is worth a test. It's not a miracle that replaces human judgment, but it is the kind of tool that makes the core of content creation fast and repeatable. Go try it out with a rough video, don't worry about the lighting or framing, and tell me which clip surprises you the most. I bet you will find at least one gold snippet you can post right away.